Welcome back to Tactics Talk with Guido. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your support. On this episode, I have another Arty game. Yep, another Arty game. But this time we are going to talk about something that's somewhat difficult to do in Arty, which is be top experience. The number 15 mission for all the personal missions, the last mission for the 4 tanks, is be top experience on your team and do X amount of damage. And there's always a lot of complaints about how being top damage is oh so hard and so impossible. Well, it is if you don't do it right. And there's a couple things you can do with your artillery to make sure that you get top damage, or sorry, top experience. So let's talk about a couple of them as we go through this. You can see I am on Lakeville in my 53-51, which is probably the best artillery for doing nearly every single mission there is out there. I have positioned myself a little bit over to the right here, a little bit over to the east side. And this is about positioning then, putting your artillery piece in place to take as early a shot as possible. And I know there's going to be guys lit up on that middle road, so I just creep over here just enough that I can shoot down that road or support by shooting anything that's going across the B line in case that scout, that WZ-132, lights them up. So let's see what happens right here. Now there are numerous things, like I said, that you can do to be top experience. Probably one of the biggest ones is positioning, which is what I'm doing right here. The other thing to think about is you're sharing experience when you shoot guys that are lit by somebody else. So shooting dark targets will give you all the experience getting up in their face, so that you're actually spotting them yourself will give you experience. You might say, well, you don't get in people's faces in artillery, you just sit in the back. Well, that's what most players do. They sit back and do a whole lot of nothing. And towards the end of the game, they don't bother to move out, they don't bother to reposition. Artillery is one of those units that you have all day long to think about what's going on in the minimap and where you should be, because you have such a long reload and you don't have to worry about that much anyway. Maneuver, side scraping, all the things that tanks have to worry about. Now watch what I do right here. I am watching because I know tanks will break down this wall right here and move up into this area, sometimes crushing this truck, sometimes knocking these boxes down, maybe even pushing into here or over here on this wall. So watch what I do right here. I don't really have anything going on. I'm about reloaded. So I'll watch this whole thing go down. And you're looking for opportunities. You're looking for opportunity. There goes the wall. You're looking for opportunities. There goes those boxes to shoot dark tanks. So boom. Now you'll notice that when that shot went in, there was no explosion on the ground. That means I directly hit that guy. All right, no explosion on the ground. I directly hit that guy. All those experience points are mine right there. And their bases. So I'm watching the valley, not much going on right there. There's a low up forward, but they're not pushing, they being the enemy, not pushing very hard. So I'm fairly comfortable where I am. The T-95 kind of has that road spotted. If a scout comes up that middle road, I can have trouble. But for the moment, it's looking good. And now I'm just going to support these guys in the city right here and lob shots on dudes who just sit out in the open, like the E-100. E-100s are not going to take a whole bunch of damage from me, plus I landed short, but that's 100 points right there. Watching the low do his thing, and I'm thinking about repositioning right now, looking over there. For a moment I thought I might go over into the valley and shoot those guys, but there was still some stuff going on over here in the town. So let me see if I can support them. And they're getting pushed pretty hard, so I'd like to help these guys out, and I'll worry about the valley in a moment. Now, there's a dark tank in there, so I'm hoping I might actually get some splash damage, but nope, the low moved away. So the intention there was to hit the dark low, but he actually got lit and he was too far away anyway. And I'm just looking for shots. Now normally the other thing I will do, and we'll show you this a little while later, is I will look for counter artillery opportunities when I'm looking for top experience, because if they're dark and you hit them, then that is experience just for you. But usually the artillery on this map, the red artillery, be in the A2 area up behind that rock up there in the corner, and from this position where I am right now, it's not a very good position to shoot it. You kind of have to be over on the 1 or 2 line to be able to access it, or all the way over into the southeast corner, and I'm just not there right now, so I'm not worried about the counter. There's no shot into that guy. and I'm just trying to stun and hurt the tanks that our guys are taking on. And things are starting to look a little better in there. Those guys are starting to win. So I will head over this way. Scorpion G on the corner, and changed my mind. But that's okay, because I have such a long reload, it doesn't matter. One thing I'm doing there that's not a great idea is I'm knocking stuff down. So I noticed the Mausch and the Scorpion G, the artillery's probably supporting. There's just a low and a T-95. So I think better going that way, and I figure, you know what, if they push through that low and get up onto my cap, I can shoot them from this other side. So I'm going to head over to the east side of the map, and I stay as far south as possible. I want to minimize the possibility of getting lit, but I do because I'm pretty sure there's somebody down there. I get lucky on the LTTB just tracking me. And here comes the 50M. Their artillery is more than likely busy shooting at the low or the T-95, so I'm not too worried about them shooting me. The C-50 knows I'm over there. I can tell he's a little bit worried. He's looking at me. Take a shot on him. Chunk off of him. Now, I may have actually seen him myself, so I'm not sure if I actually had to share that experience or not. And there goes the E-50. Again, maneuverability, moving your tank around, creating shots, no matter what tank you're driving, whether it's an artillery or a scout or a heavy. Now here's another important one for top experience. I see this 704, and he's got the T-34 and the 110 E5. There's also the Scorp in there. There goes the Scorpion. Now I know the object is getting ganged up on by the T-34 and the 110, and I figure I'm more than likely behind him. He's probably not pointed at me. And turns out that's actually true. Artillery can be somewhat mobile. I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to auto-aim this guy. I'm just going to drive up in behind here and blammo. So I do 1,041 with a pen from behind there. That's experience that I don't have to share. And that is a large part of why I'm going to end up being top experience on this one. I'll just wait for a while until artillery is done trying to shoot in here behind that building. No sense to drive out in the open. More than likely they were zoomed in there as they were trying to help that 704. And they did put a shot in there. And now I'm going to swing back this way, because I see the Mauschen is moving up. I am concerned still about the LTTB. You can drive up this road fairly easily and not get spotted unless he's well forward on your little road. If you go any lower, though, down by the church there, then you are going to get spotted. So let's just sit here for a minute, see what's going on. So maybe the Mauschen's going to come up. Nope. So let's look where their artillery is and see if we can't get a counter on these guys. Our T-34 pushes in. The LTTB is actually trolling around now in the town, so that is a little concerning. There's a tracer right there, so I'll fire to where that tracer was. See what's going on with the Mauschen. I'm paying attention to the minimap with the LTTB. And I believe I did take a piece off of that artillery. Didn't kill him, obviously, but I believe I took a piece off of him based on what I see with the end of game report. Now, the LTTB is pushing in, so I can't stay here. I've paid attention to the minimap. There's only 3 of them left. But I know he's not in the middle, so I'm not going to get spotted by anybody on the middle, more than likely, unless one of their Arty went there. So I'm just trucking on away from this LTTB. The 155-58 does a pretty good thing. He comes up here and gets into a bush right there. So he's going to be the canary in the coal mine for me. I'm going to move this way. So you can see I've already moved all across this map. I've been into the city. I've been into the southeast. Now I'm over into the southwest. I've been on the middle. Been all over this map. The scouts are tricky. They're fast. Can be hard to hit, but with the massive splash on the artillery at this point in the game, it's pretty easy, really. I can see these two guys are crawling forward. Now, something else to think about is, as far as the enemy artillery goes, they know that their LTB is probably over there somewhere. They know that there's a TD or 2 in the valley. So if I was a thinking man on their team, I probably would have got out of that corner myself. But I am pre-zoomed in here just in case they're there, and I'm watching the mini-map for the 55, 58 to see if this LTTB shows up, and I fully expect that he will momentarily, especially if he comes around to this area right here. There's a couple bushes right there at about K7. If he sneaks into those and doesn't get lit and doesn't see any TDs sitting up here, he's probably going to be emboldened to come across and look for artillery. So there's the Taurus and the T95. One thing you can do is you can move your view to go watch these guys and see if they're taking shots or not. I just choose to look at where the artillery is going to be lit. Now there's the LTTB, so I'm going to immediately react to that. He's dodging down low. Unfortunately, the 155-58 is not able to shoot him, and he kills him off. Now I've got that huge splash. Just wait until it zooms in a little bit, and we'll just blap him, and we'll start moving because their artillery might be looking for me. So I got a couple options here to increase my experience. Now see how somebody just clicked over in that corner on the southeast? The Ude said attention K9. He may have actually seen something get knocked down over there, or see a shot come in from that direction. So I have noted that. I'm just waiting to see if the Tortoise or the 95 lights anybody right here. But once they get around the corner, I'm going to figure they're probably not there. And if there is, it's only one. And I'm still thinking about that K9 click. So let's see. Knock down a tree, which is not wise. I'll just use this cover as best I can here. Turn around this way. And so we're looking for experience. And tanks that I light myself and shoot, I don't have to share experience with. So initially I'm thinking maybe they might try to drive up on the cap. Neither one of those is a especially fast tank. Well, the 261 is not bad. Not quite as maneuverable as the 53-55, but pretty close. And it doesn't have the turret, the half turret that the 53-55 has, but still pretty maneuverable. The GW is a great big lumbering beast, doesn't get much of anywhere very quickly. It's end game. It looks like the game is pretty much won. I haven't seen those guys get reset, so it doesn't seem like the enemy artillery is sitting down there. So why not get out there and try to blap somebody in the face? There you go. There's the GW. He's actually looking towards the cap. So I go low. I'm thinking, well, he's probably got a friend, and the friend is a little more moved. Oh, there he is. Here he comes. Let's get right here. Now he's got the turn to bring his gun on board, so I'm going to blast him as he tries to do that. And there's another kill and some damage that is all mine. I try to get up around the corner and duel with the GW, but I can't quite get there before we cap out. And we end up with, I end up with 3 kills, top experience. So there you have it. There's a lot of things you can do with artillery other than just sit in the corner and wait for everything to happen. And if you're trying to get top experience, then you have to go get top experience. It's not going to come to you. Maybe at the end a scout will zoom in or two and you can shotgun them in the face and you won't have to share that experience. But if you're a little bit proactive, that mission is actually pretty darn easy. Alright guys, hope you like what you saw. Hope you learned a little something about artillery. And now I want you to forget all about it. Alright, we will see you.